All right. It's Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG, and I just follow this guy everywhere around the world.
What do you think about that?
Amazing, Eddie. Amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
65,000 Brits going. Well, let me be careful there. Irish, British. I learned you got to be careful what you say when you're over there. But amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invite. It was a crazy event. Let's start right there. A few days removed. I've never seen you as emotional. I felt, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, as emotionally connected to a fight, to an event, and the outcome as you were after that fight. Just where are you at processing the days later?
You know what I'm like, right? I live it with the fighters in there. I'm very emotional, jumping up and down. Like, if I feel like a scorecard's wrong, I'll throw my toys out the pram. Honestly, like, I love to win. And when those scorecards are read out, and even till today, I'm just not disappointed because of what I saw and how proud I was of Conor Benn. Props to Eubank. He was an unbelievable warrior, but he's not my guy. And I'm so proud of my guy stepping up to middleweight. Like, really, shouldn't really be in there against those kind of guys at that size, but never stopped trying to win the fight. Even in 11 and 12, where it got on top, he wasn't holding, he wasn't running around. He was standing and fighting, and he was trying to win the fight. And, you know, he became a hero on Saturday night. Both of them did. And just amazing to watch.
Yeah, no, it certainly was. Like I said, an incredible event, the magnitude of which I've never seen. And, you know, I heard you. I was listening carefully to what you were saying after the fight and what Conor was saying. And obviously, it's not like you guys were on a different page, but he's a fighter. He's emotionally invested in a different way, and you're emotionally invested in a different way. Seemed like he wanted the rematch, or he talked about it like everybody would after a tough loss. You weren't too apt to that, you know, maybe take a break in between. So I've got to ask, you know, it's going to become a rumbling. Are we going to see the rematch?
Yeah, you are. I mean, look, we both signed a contract, Eubank and Benn, to do 2 fights. So the deal is done, the terms are set. You know, maybe in the, you know, His Excellency kind of reminded me of that when I made comments about maybe moving to 47. And that's just a concern for a fighter. You know, I've got to think about putting my guy in with a guy of that size and being at such a disadvantage. But we signed a contract. It's the biggest fight. I mean, it's much bigger than the first one now.
Yep.
And I asked Conor, I said, "Well, how do you feel about the rematch?" And he said to me, "If you think that was a war, wait till you see the rematch." And we like our shot in a rematch because we're younger, we're fresher. We had 14 months of inactivity going into that fight. That's gone now. I think he can be more adaptive at the weight. And he's back in the gym.
Yeah.
And he'll be here tomorrow. So you guys can talk to him and, you know, he's ready to go.
Yeah, look forward to that for sure. You know, obviously, rematch, like you just said, seems like the path we're going down, but he is truly somebody who fights at 147, and the options there, you know, there are plenty of them. There's been talk about him versus Mario Barrios, but just because we're here and it calls for it, have you ever thought about a fight with him and potentially even maybe a Ryan Garcia at 147?
You know, Conor Benn's wanted the Ryan Garcia fight for a long time. I think he'll probably call him out tomorrow when he's here as well. And it's a great fight. Now 2 huge stars, right? So, yeah, you know, I think Conor Benn has proved himself as a world-class fighter. The physicalities that he has to give away fighting a middleweight are obvious, particularly later in that fight, 11 and 12. But he wants to get his hands on him again. He wants a shot at redemption, and we know how big the fight is. It's massive.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's just pretend here, you know, he goes back to 147. That Barrios fight were to potentially be a thing. Is it not a thing now? Because we're hearing rumors of Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a joke, to be honest. Like, you know, the Manny Pacquiao's a legend, right? But that, let's be honest, that ship sailed, right? I think it's about 3 years ago, they come to us to fight Conor Benn, like in a 10-rounder. And we were looking at it, we got so much criticism 3 years ago about Conor Benn fighting Manny Pacquiao. And now we're talking about him fighting for a world title. When was the last time Manny Pacquiao had a professional fight?
Yeah.
I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago? I don't know.
Was it somebody after Keith Thurman?
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so, it's been a while.
How can you fight for a WBC world title? It makes a mockery of the championship. So, I don't know. Look, Mario Barrios should be fighting Boots. But they don't want it's just like an easy fight. Anyway, so we'll see.
No, for sure. Eddie, I appreciate your time. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more this week.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you, Eddie. Peace.